It's 9 p.m. Monday night, while the rest of the world slows down. You're tuning in to the Final Boss podcast. This is Motivation Mondays, where mindsets shift, hustle gets honored, and the 6 pillars of success get broken all the way down. We're talking motivation, resilience, sacrifice, consistency, persistence, and perseverance. Hosted by the one and only Turbo, the CEO, bringing real talk, raw stories, and relentless energy to spark your week with purpose. So lock in, take notes, and remember, success ain't just a dream, it's a discipline.
Welcome to Monday night's edition of the Final Boss podcast, Motivation Monday, baby. Listen, it is Motivation Monday, one of my favorite times of the week. Listen, man, listen. I'm excited to be here. I hope you're excited to be here, man. I have a great show for you tonight. Episode number 159, going into episode number 200. Episode 200. Now imagine that. Episode number 200 is well on its way. Because what? Why? You asking why? Because we do 5 shows a week. We have 5 shows a week where you got 5 opportunities to see the Final Boss podcast. Starting on Sunday with sitting down with who? Me, the Final Boss. Then on Monday, you got Motivation Monday. Then on Tuesday, I have my Text Me, the Sensei, right? For Tech Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we got Merger Wednesdays, where we're merging and bridging the gap between AI kind and humankind. And then on Thursday, we have special guest Thursday. And then we do it all over again on a Sunday, baby. Let's go. Listen, man, it is go time. Go time is the theme of the hour. Go time is always on time, every day, all day. Listen, go pick up Go Time, the fired up train. Go pick it up. Get it in a hard copy so I can sign it. Go pick up Go Time, right? It's my first book. You see that handsome fellas, that handsome face right there? That's me. That's not a clone. That's me, right? I wrote this 330 something pages worth of motivation knowledge. This is a motivation workbook, people. Go pick it up. Go pick up Go Time. You know what? I need to start dropping the link. I said I was going to do that. Start dropping the link inside of the post, and I'm going to try to do that before the show is over. But look, I got a great show for you tonight, man. Episode 159. And, as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to each and every single one of you, no matter where you are, where you're watching from, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitch, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, or Instagram, and LinkedIn. And by the way, for your audio listening pleasure, you can catch us on Spotify and soon on Apple Podcasts. Look, I know everybody's keep asking me about the merch. The merch store is coming. I'm a perfectionist, but not really. But the merch store is coming. I got some people working on it, and it's coming. So you'll be able to purchase your merch, and you'll be able to purchase Go Time while you're on there too. But meanwhile, while we're waiting, go get Go Time, all aboard the fired up train. Yeah, change your life right here. So tonight, Final Bosses, Smarts, Warriors, Motivators. Listen. Let me go to get this stuff out the way real quick because it is in the viewpoint. Wait, there it's gone. Hello, everybody joining us. Hello, Chikandi, Daniel, Carl. Hello. I'm Chill. What's good? Thanks, love from India. I was just talking about you guys. Appreciate you. Thanks for joining. Look, I'm the Final Boss, right? I'm the host, right? And I'm coming to you live for tonight's show, which is Motivation Monday, episode number 159. And tonight, we're doing something a little bit different. And we've been going through protocols. We've been going through theses. We've been going through theories. We've been going through principles. But tonight is something different. It's something powerful. Something that's going to challenge everything you think you know about leadership. And also about winning and dominance. Because for months, I've been teaching you about the 6 pillars of success. I've been teaching about the 6 building blocks of reward. I've been teaching about the 5 systems of sovereignty. Where's my pointer? Got it. My magic wand. Right. Uh, the 5 systems of sovereignty, the 4 weapons of warfare in business, right? And soon come, starting in the end of December, early January, we're going to be talking about something that's called the 6 pillars of execution, right? That's the 3rd tier. That's going to be the 3rd. I'm giving away too much information, but we're going to be talking about the 6 pillars of execution in January, starting early December. Look out for that. And you listen, I've taught you guys how to be strategic, how to be tactical, how to dominate, right? How to dominate your sector, how to become unstoppable. And all of that, right, is essential. It's necessary. It's non-negotiable if you want to be a final boss or carry the final boss status. But tonight, right? Tonight, I'm going to show you the secret weapon that makes all of those frameworks multiply in power. Tonight, I'm talking about leading through, get this, leading through love. Leading through love, right? I know you're like, what are you talking about, final boss? You can't lead people through love, right? You need sternness. You need command. You need the visceral attitude to seek and destroy, to pull out the weak. But let me tell you something, right? There's another way of doing it because it's 2025. Now, before you click away thinking that I've gone soft in my mentality, hold up. Don't go nowhere. Yes, you stay right there. Don't go nowhere, bro. Stay there. Listen, we just getting started. Stay right there. Right? I'm a combat veteran. I've served in Afghanistan and Iraq. I was at the Pentagon on 9/11, right? Right down the hall from the incident, right? I've been in federal service for 23 years. I've been the CEO of different companies. I've led teams. I compete and have competed in ruthless markets. And I'm telling you, the most powerful leaders I've ever served under, the most dominant executives I've ever met, the most successful people I've ever known, they didn't lead through fear. They led through love. Yeah, they led through love. They didn't conquer through chaos. They conquered through peace. They didn't dominate through ignorance. They dominated through knowledge. And they didn't force results. They trusted the process, right? And tonight, I'm breaking down the 4 elements of unstoppable motherfucking leadership, right? So strap your boots, pull up your bootstraps, get in line, stand at attention, stand at ease, right? Parade rest, all of that. Because half right, left position, move, get down and beat your face. That's what we're going to be doing tonight through love and compassion, right? Now, let's talk about love, man. Love is the foundation of authentic influence. And peace is the peace and the power of unshakable calm. Knowledge is the weapon of strategic wisdom. Trust the process, the faith that sustains excellence. This isn't soft. This is stronger than anything you've learned before, right? This is how you lead teams that would run through walls for you, not through fear, but through love. This is how you build businesses that transform industries. This is how you create legacies that outlive you, right? And if you're ready for the truth about real power, drop a fire emoji, man. Drop a fire emoji in the chat, right? And if you're ready to learn what makes final bosses truly legendary, drop a heart. Drop a heart, man. Let's spread some love, man. We're going to drop hearts and we're going to drop fire emojis all night long because that's what type of time we're on. That's what this show is about tonight, right? Because tonight we're boarding up what? You know it. The motherfucking fired up train. The fired up train, baby. Go time. It's go. It's go time. It's go time. Let's go, right? You still down there doing push-ups, right? 1, 2, 3, 1. 3 count push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 3. Yes, yes, yes. Get it, get it, get it. We're boarding the fired up train. The fired up train is powered by love. All aboard, right? All aboard. Let's go. So, right? If you've been watching us for a while, you know that at the beginning of the show, I go into the brass tacks. And here's tonight's brass tacks, right? The brass tacks quote comes from none other than me. Tonight's brass tacks comes from me, right? So here it is. You can lead through fear and people will follow because they have to. You can lead through incentives and people will follow because they want to. But when you lead through love, through genuine care for their success, through peace that calms chaos, through knowledge that empowers them, through trust in the process that sustains them, people don't just follow. They become unstoppable, right? And that is how you build legendary teams that create legendary results, right? Now, the four elements of love based on leadership, right? First element, of course, is love, right? Genuine care for the success before, let me slow down, I'm talking too fast. For the success and well-being of others. Peace is the unshakable calm that stabilizes teams in chaos. And knowledge is strategic wisdom that empowers and elevates. And then trust the process. Faith and systematic excellence over time, right? Now listen. I know some of you are probably confused right now, right? Last month, I was just teaching you guys about weapons of warfare in business, right? Now I'm talking about love. What's going on? Well, here's what you need to understand. The frameworks I've taught you, the pillars, the building blocks, the systems, the weapons, the execution protocols, those are your capabilities. But love, peace, knowledge, and trust, those are your character multipliers. You can execute all 6 pillars of success perfectly. But if you lead with fear, selfishness, ignorance, and impatience, you'll win battles but lose wars, right? You can dominate markets through aggression, but if you burn every relationship, create chaos, refuse to learn, and abandon your processes, you'll achieve short-term success that leads to long-term destruction. Right? But when you combine ruthless execution with love-based leadership, when you deploy tactical precision through a foundation of peace, when you execute strategic warfare powered by knowledge and trust in the process, you become unstoppable and sustainable. That's the difference between being a tyrant who eventually fails and a legend who builds empires that outlive them, right? And tonight, I'm showing you how to become a legend, right? I'm showing you how to become a legend. So let's start with the most misunderstood element of leadership, right? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about love, right? Because when people think of love, when it comes to leadership, people think, oh man, he's soft. He's being soft, right? Avoiding tough decisions, never holding people accountable, letting people walk all over them, right? But let me tell you something. That's not what I'm talking about. And that's not love, right? Leading through love means I genuinely care about your success, your growth, and well being of the people you lead. So when I tell you half right, left position, move, drop and get down and beat your face, I'm telling you that because you need to do some push ups. You need to work out. You need to build a program. And I'm giving this to you from a place of love, not in fake or manipulative way, not where you or someone who's a leader pretend to care to get to results. No, we're talking about truly caring whether you win or lose. Because when you lead from a place of love, if you win, I win. So if I focus on helping you win, I know the byproduct is I'm going to win as well, right? But let me tell you something, man. A little story about Afghanistan, right? I had a young soldier, man. He was 19 years old, right? Scared out of his mind. Kid could barely tie his boots. Let me tell you, always shaking, every explosion, everything every whatever, scared to death, right? I could have led him through fear, right? Do your job, you getting paid for, or you getting an Article 15, right? That works in the short term. But I led him through love. I pulled him aside and said, hey, man, I need you. Your team needs you. I'm going to make sure you make it home to your family. But for that to happen, you got to trust me and do exactly what I teach you, right? Then I invested in him. Extra training, personal mentorship, constant feedback, genuine encouragement. 6 months later, supercharged. He was supercharged. This kid listen, he was supercharged. Why? Because he knew I cared about him. He trusted me. He didn't just follow orders. He believed in the mission because he believed in me as his leader. That's the power of leading through love. Now, let me show you how this applies to business, to my business folks out there, right? When I built SatDigiNet, you know, no, we're not gonna talk about SatDigiNet. But let's talk about our Trinity Entertainment Music Group. Let's talk about our Trinity Entertainment Music Group. It was a record label that I owned back in the mid 2000s, right? Like 2009 to probably like 2015, right? Music business is a unfriendly business, right? It's an unfriendly business. And for those who are out there trying to get into the music business, make sure you do your homework. Do your due diligence before you start making large investments in your craft, right? Make sure you understand the business model of that, right? Now, I had artists that I mentored. We made a lot of great wins. We celebrated all those wins. I helped a lot of people get through certain struggles, right? And you know what happened? They stayed loyal. They stayed loyal even when the outside looked greener, right? Right. We worked hard, man. We worked hard. Sometimes we'd be in the studio for up to 24 hours or more, putting together music, putting together concepts, right? To get these songs together, these singles, these projects that we were working on. Same time, we were doing interviews, right? We were always around the camera. We were always working. The studio was always packed. And these artists, man, they believed in their craft and they believed that I was giving them an opportunity to get their music out there, right? They brought their best ideas because they knew I valued their growth, not just their output. And here's the leadership framework, right? Here's the love component. It's a genuine investment. You invest time, energy, and resources in people's growth beyond what benefits you directly, you're going to reap the rewards. Love component number 2, self accountability, right? You hold people to high standards because you care about their excellence, not because you're a tyrant, right? And here's component number 3. You celebrate those wins. You celebrate them. You recognize achievements publicly, and you celebrate success genuinely, right? And component number 4, you don't abandon people when they're struggling, right? You help them overcome. Notice in all of that, none of this is soft. It's actually harder than fear-based leadership, because fear-based leadership is easy. Do this or you're fired. Do this or you're unalive, right? Or whatever. Or do this because I said so. And if you don't, you're going to receive the punishment behind it. That's not real leadership. Love-based leadership is hard, right? Because I believe, I believe in you more than you believe in yourself. And it's my job as a leader to uplift, empower, and bring out your greatness, bring out your excellence, right? So you could too get on the board the fired up train, right? And here's how, right? Because I believe in you more than you believe in yourself. I'm going to help you get there. I'm holding you accountable because I care about your success. Love-based leadership creates legendary loyalty. And legendary loyalty creates unstoppable teams. And unstoppable teams create dominant results. You ever hear NFL players or basketball players, any sports team players say, oh man, I'll take a pay cut to play for this coach, or I'll do anything to play for this coach, right? Those particular coaches are great leaders. They're leading men. And those players believe that coach can lead them to the chip, right? Same thing in business. Same thing in your personal life. All of this is transformational. All of it is transitional. You can apply it where you deem or need to, how you see fit. And that's why I say all the time, love isn't a weakness. Love is strategic strength. Now, let me connect this to what? You just heard it, and you're going to hear it again. Matter of fact, get used to it. This is Motivation Monday. This is all we do. The fired up train, because this is important. The fired up train metaphor has been our central framework throughout the entire podcast for Motivation Monday, and the premise behind Go Time, all aboard the fired up train, right? You've heard it hundreds of times. All aboard the fired up train. It's go time. Let's go. But tonight, I want you to understand what powers that train. It's not just about discipline. It's not just about execution. It's not just about systems and weapon systems. The fired up train is powered by love. Think about it, right? We talked about tier 1. Tier 1 was the 6 pillars of success. Discovering your why, understanding your why, right? You can't do anything if you don't have your why. Then once you understand and discover your why, you develop it. You develop that why, right? And then from your why, you move into the 6 pillars of success. Motivation, because you love your future self enough to do the work. The fired up train is going to get you to your future self. Why do you practice? Because of sacrifice. Because you love your goals more than your comfort. Why do you maintain consistency? Because you love your vision enough to show up daily. Why do you exercise perseverance? Because you love your mission through the obstacles, right? And why You embody persistence because you love success more than you love quitting. Why do you demonstrate resilience? Because you love the comeback stories more than you fear failure. Now, those are the 6 pillars of success: motivation, sacrifice, consistency, persistence, perseverance, and resilience. And you have to have your why at the top of the pillar, right? Every single every single pillar is powered by love. Then we went into tier 2. Tier 2 is the 6 building blocks of reward. The 6 building blocks of reward, right? And that's going in the next book, right? We're going to be talking about the 6 building blocks of reward extensively in the next book. Why do you develop vision? Your vision clarity, right? Because you love your destination enough to define it. The next building block, discipline architecture, because you love excellence more than you love chaos. Skill supremacy, because you love mastery more than mediocrity, right? Relationship capital, because you love collaboration over isolation. Listen, stay with me. Don't you go nowhere. Don't you go nowhere. Stay with me. Stay with me, right? Financial foundation, right? Because you love freedom more than dependence. And lastly, physical vitality, because you love your body as the vehicle for your mission. Now do this for me. Attention. Parade. Rest. Stand it. Peace. Now, if you understand those instructions and you just follow through with all those commands that I just gave you, understand that I came from a place of love, right? Understand that every building block is constructed through love. And starting in early January, we're going to be talking about the 6 pillars of execution. And I'm going to give you a little head start on that. So you'll be ahead of the curveball when it's actually time for us to break open our books and start writing notes and get into the 6 pillars of execution, right? And the first pillar of execution is strategic deployment, because you love impact over planning, right? And the next one is consistent application, because you love results over excuses, right? The next one is skill, because you love contribution over hoarding knowledge. We don't gatekeep over here. We don't gatekeep people, not in the final boss nation, not in the final boss community, not my final bosses, not my smarts, not my motivators, not my warriors. We're all in this together on this journey as who we are. And we are here. I am here, right? And the next one, network, because you love mutual elevation over solo achievement. And resources, because you love abundance over scarcity, right? And lastly, peak performance, because you love excellence over settling. Every execution pillar deploys through love. See, you see what I'm showing you? I'm giving you guys the entire system from tier 1 through tier 3, right? Go time, all aboard the fired up train is tier 1. The next 2 tiers, they're on their way. They're on their way. But guess what? They're all powered by love as well. Not soft, weak, passive love, but fierce, protective, strategic love that says, I love my future enough to discipline myself today. I love my team enough to hold them to excellence. I love my mission enough to sacrifice comfort. I love my beautiful genius daughter Chai enough to build a legacy that would serve her in her future. I love community. You love it enough to give We're talking about the Final Boss community. I love you guys enough to give you guys the best content 5 days a week live. Live get you at 9 p.m. Now, if that fuel doesn't get your fired up train moving, I don't know what is. Because the fired up train, without love, the fired up train, it needs willpower. And willpower eventually runs out. Then what do you have, right? With love, the train runs on purpose. And purpose is infinite. That's why love-based leadership is sustainable. That's why love-powered execution is unstoppable. That's why fired up train never stops. It never stops. When, guess what? It's fueled by love, right? Now, we're going to talk about the element of peace. And the element of peace, let me, you know, a lot of people don't believe in peace. They don't believe in peace. You know, they believe in violence, right? A lot of people believe in violence until they get smacked in the face or punched in the face. Because once you get punched in the face, that plan goes out the door. Like Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. So I'm telling you, lead with love, right? Because you just need to. But, you know, let me tell you something that most people don't understand about combat, right? Soldiers who survive aren't the ones who panic and spray bullets everywhere, right? The soldiers who dominate are the ones who stay calm under fire. You be selective with your targets. Peace isn't absence of war. You can't have peace without war. I'm sorry. Peace is calm in the middle of war. And that calm, that's your weaponry. That's your weaponry. Look, a lot of y'all don't know this, but on September 11th, 2001, I was at the Pentagon doing fiber optics. I was a fiber optic lead, right? The incident hit the building. Chaos ensued. Chaos was everywhere. Smoke, building. I mean, it was just crazy, right? I still remember it as if it was yesterday. People screaming, smoke, confusion, terror, you name it, it was happening. You get outside, I feel the heat from the explosion. I see the fire, mushroom cloud. And what I'm telling you, man, I had to do accountability. I had to do accountability of my people in that chaos, right? 2 of my team members were injured in the impact zone. And at that moment, I had a choice, right? Panic and become part of the chaos, or maintain peace and become part of the solution. I chose peace. Not because I wasn't scared. I was definitely terrified, right? Didn't know exactly what had happened. But because I knew my calm would save lives. You have to understand and be aware of your surroundings. So I stayed focused, right? I stayed focused. And through clear communication, everybody got out. Everybody got out. Now, my peace created peace in others in a time of chaos. My calm stabilized the chaos that was around me. That's the power of peace and leadership. Not fast forward. Now, let's fast forward and talk business, right? Let's fast forward and talk business. Because and dealing with different teams, depending on how your teams are set up, in the state of chaos, people would freak out. People would freak out. People immediately go to, am I going to get terminated? Am I going to lose my job? Right? And what I'm going to tell you is that as a leader, I could have definitely matched their panic. But what good is that? What benefit comes out of that? That's destructive, right? Instead, I chose peace. I understood my team's concerns, right? These are uncertain times, but here's what I know. We've built and continue to build something valuable, right? Our customers need us. Let's continue to move forward in the path of progression and positivity and calmly execute our strategies to continue to demonstrate our value, right? And trust me, you must trust the process. We're going to be absolutely fine. And we were each and every last time. My peace created confidence. My calm inspired execution. And you know what happened? Contracts continued. Money continued to flow. In fact, people were promoted, right? People were promoted to leads, to managers, to so forth and so on, right? And here's the peace framework. Peace principle number 1, emotional regulation. You don't let external chaos create internal chaos. You maintain calm regardless of circumstances, right? Principle number 2, strategic patience. You don't rush decisions because of pressure. You take time to think clearly. And principle number 3, calm communication. You speak with measured intensity, not frantic energy. Your words stabilize, not destabilize, right? And the next principle, confident certainty. You project confidence even when uncertain because your team needs stability from leadership. Now, let me be clear. Peace doesn't mean be passive, people. It's word association. Peace does not mean passive. You can be peaceful and aggressive simultaneously. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you guys this straight up right now and no holds barred. Some of the most peaceful people are the most violent. I'm telling you with the fact that is the truth. Some of the most peaceful people are, in fact, the most violent. They know what skill set they have. They know that any small situation that can be escalated can go already wrong. They maintain peace, right? If you go read Sun Tzu, Art of War, man. Maintain peace, right? You can be calm and intense at the same time. Peace is about control, not weakness. Fear is a weakness. Think about the most dangerous predators in nature. They're calm before they strike. That calm makes them more dangerous, not less. Same thing with leadership. Same thing with running your household. Same thing with running your relationships. The leader who's screaming and panicking, that's desperation. That inspires fear and confusion. The leader that's calm and focused, that's confidence. That inspires trust and execution. Stay with me, right? Peace is a competitive advantage. While your competition is panicking and making reactive decisions, you're maintaining calm and making strategic decisions. While other leaders are creating chaos through their anxiety, you're creating stability through your own peace. While others are burning out from constant stress, you're sustaining excellence through inner calm. That's why I teach you to lead through peace. Not because it's nice, because it's powerful, right? Because it's powerful, right? Now, listen. Here's where peace connects to trust the process, right? Peace is easy when things are going well. Real peace is maintained when everything is falling apart. And you still have to trust the process. Let me tell you about one of the darkest periods of my life when it came to business, right? Man, let me tell you. Early 2011, right? Early 2011, 2012, in the middle of running Trinity Entertainment, I was starting a security company. I had the idea for a security company called Global Shield Protective Services, right? And I was on the brink of bankruptcy, right? And I was thinking to myself, how is this possible? Audit after audit, the numbers weren't marrying, right? Every logical indicator was saying you're done. Close the company, cut your losses. But I had peace. Not because circumstances looked good, they look terrible. If you don't know the music industry, man, it requires a lot of capital, to run and be a business in the music industry. But because I had process, I had systems, I had frameworks, and I trusted them even when I couldn't see the results yet. I kept executing disciplines. I kept our our clients, our customers, and the artists. I kept serving them with excellence. I kept ensuring them through confidence, right? I kept investing in the team. I kept showing up with energy and vision. I kept trusting the process. And would you believe it? 6 months later, 6 months later was a different story, right? 6 months later was a different story. We were looking at some different situations, right? But here's what I want you to understand. During those times, during those dark moments, right? Nothing looked like it was going to work. And every week, you get to a point you keep checking the bank account. You keep checking all the accounts and you see capital disappearing, right? Every day I'm wondering if tomorrow is the day that we collapse. I remember having conversations with my producers. I was like, man, I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to hold on. I had those conversations, right? Every night I'm asking, am I making the right decisions? And all these artists that were on our team depended on me in providing them the ability to get their craft out there, right? But I maintained peace because I trusted the process. I couldn't control when the next profits were going to come in, but I could control whether I kept executing excellence while we waited. And that's what made the difference. You have to trust the process. And here's the trust the process framework, right? You have to have trust, right? You have to have faith. I'm going to say it again. You have to have faith, people. Essential. Faith in fundamentals. You believe in basics and you believe that they work even when you can't see immediate results. You show up daily, right? And that compounds that energy. You might not see it on day one, but you're definitely going to see it on day 365. And that's what's building the fired up train. That's what's building the final boss community. And that's what's building the final boss nation, right? Showing up daily. Because building relationships, right? Building relationships pays dividends. You might not see it this week, but you'll see it this year. Skill development that creates supremacy. You might not feel like it this month, but you'll feel like it in the long term. Trust the process. The next process, trust and patience. You accept that excellence takes time. You have to accept it. It does not happen overnight. Diamonds are made under pressure, right? Swords Swords are forged under fire, right? You don't become a final boss overnight. You don't build a legendary business in a month. You don't achieve mastery in a year, but you do achieve them through sustained execution. You have to trust the process, right? You execute for the process, not just for the results. You work out because you're committed to physical vitality, not just to see your abs tomorrow. You study because you're committed to knowledge supremacy, not just to pass a test. You build relationships because you're committed to network capital, not just to get something done or get something today. When you trust the process, you execute regardless of the immediate outcome, right? You don't abandon processes at the first obstacle, but you do adjust. You do adjust, right? You have to be adaptable. And you have to do this strategically based on data. If something isn't working after sustained effort with proper execution, you adjust the tactic and maintain the principle. But most people quit way before they've given process enough time. The value is in the finish. And when I tell you the value is in the finish, a lot of times the finish is just getting started, right? So once you finish, a lot of times you're just getting started. You'll see that, right? A lot of people execute for 1 or 2 weeks looking for results. They don't get results, they quit. I'm talking to you January 1st gym people, right? Yeah, I'm talking to y'all because by January 15th, where are you? Where are you? Where you at? Where you at? I know that's improper, but listen, you get the point. That's not process, that's failure. And that's patience failure, right? You execute your disciplines before you feel motivated. You maintain your systems before you see results. You deploy your strategies before confirmation appears. You keep showing up before success validates you, right? Because you trust that systematic excellence, always get those two mixed up. I say it all the time, always wins over time. That trust creates peace, and that peace sustains execution, and that execution creates results. Now, listen, for all you out there, thank you for joining us and staying with us. We're almost done. So don't go nowhere, right? Get your pens and paper. Stay with me, right? All right. So, in every framework, there's knowledge. And I've taught you and been teaching about knowledge showing up, right? The 6 pillars of success requires knowledge of what works. The 6 building blocks of reward include skill supremacy. That's a knowledge application. The 5 systems include information sovereignty. That's knowledge management. The 4 weapons of warfare in business include strategic thinking, knowledge, and when to deploy, right? Knowledge isn't just power. Knowledge is currency in this 21st century. It's currency. But here's what most people miss. It's not about hoarding the information. So all you gatekeepers out there, right? We're coming for you guys. We're coming for you because the information is prevalent and is readily available. And we have access. And with that access, we're deploying knowledge through teaching, right? Now, let me break this down for you, right? Acquiring knowledge for your own excellence, right? You want to study you want to study AI systems or cybersecurity so you can add more value and deliver more value. You want to learn marketing so you can grow your business. You want to develop leadership skills so you can lead effectively. Well, these are necessary, right? This is necessary. But let me tell you, that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning of it, right? Because once you learn something, you have to apply it. You have to apply the expertise. And this is deploying your knowledge to create value in anything that you want to create value in. You don't know, you can't just know cybersecurity. You have to use it. You have to use it. And you use it to protect your clients and their systems. You don't just understand marketing, you implement it to generate results. You don't just study leadership, you lead teams to achieve objectives. This is where most people stop. They acquire knowledge and apply it personally. But final bosses, motivators, warriors, and my smarts, they don't do that. They understand that teaching is like multiplication, because teaching others what you know to help them achieve excellence, that is multiplying your knowledge, right? And here's a paradox. When you teach, right? When you teach, your own mastery multiplies. Your own mastery multiplies through repetition, right? Because teaching forces you to clarify your thinking, organize your frameworks, answer challenges or challenging questions, refine your own methodology, learn from others' applications. That's why I host the Final Boss podcast 5 times a week, not just to share motivation, but because teaching you makes me sharper. Every episode I create forces me to organize my frameworks, test my principles, refine my strategies, deepen my own understanding through explanation. Teaching is the ultimate learning tool, right? But here's the real power of teaching. When you lead through knowledge sharing, you create empowered teams. Weak leaders hoard knowledge because they fear competition. Strong leaders share knowledge because they create multiplication. Think about it. If I'm the only person at the Final Boss Podcast LLC who knows the information related to each show, then I'm putting myself in a bottleneck. I'm limiting and being limited by my own capacity. But if I teach my team what I know, now I've got more experts who can deliver value, who can handle what I'm doing to assist in the business tenfold, right? Now, let's talk about scalability, right? Because scalability is what builds empires. Scalability builds empires, right? And here's the knowledge leadership framework in that. You're always studying, you're always reading, you're always researching, and you're always experimenting. You never stop learning. Right now, I'm pursuing my master's in global studies, right? While I'm maintaining these businesses, while I'm being a new author, right? Just drop go time, right? So why? Because I'm committed. I'm committed to knowledge acquisition. You organize what you learn into frameworks, right? And this is how you do it. This is how I've done it. Some of these frameworks. 6 pillars of success, framework. 6 building blocks of reward, framework. 5 systems of sovereignty, framework. 4 weapons of warfare, framework. 6 pillars of execution framework. These aren't random. They're systematic knowledge organized that I put together just for teaching, right? Because I'm expanding past the book. It goes past the book. Courses, conferences, interviews. It goes way further than just being a podcaster. The podcast is just getting you through the gate. That's just the beginning, right? That's just the beginning. You teach what you know without hoarding or gatekeeping, right? And you have to understand, yes, the podcast is free. My framework's free. My wisdom free. Why? Because knowledge multiplies when it's shared and it doesn't diminish. You don't just teach theory, you mentor through applications, right? I don't just tell you have discipline. I teach you the 3 levels of discipline, discipline architecture, and how to implement them. That's knowledge leadership. That's teaching. That's transformative. Now, let me show you how these 4 elements work together. And the 4 elements are love, peace, knowledge, and trust, right? Show you how they work together. Love provides the foundation. You generally care about the success of your team, your clients, your community, and your family. That love makes you willing to invest time in their growth, hold them accountable, celebrate their victories, support them through struggles, right? Peace. Peace provides the stability. Your calm under pressure creates confidence in others. When chaos hits, your peace keeps the team focused. When uncertainty arises, your peace inspires trust. When obstacles appear, your peace enables strategic thinking. When knowledge, man, listen. The next one, right? Knowledge provides the capability. You've acquired the expertise that creates value. You've organized the expertise that becomes teachable frameworks. You share the knowledge that empowers others. You've multiplied your impact through education, right? And the next one, trust the process. Trust the process. Trust the process provides sustainability. You don't quit when results are immediate. You maintain disciplines when outcomes aren't visible. You execute systems when confirmation hasn't arrived. You sustain excellence through faith in fundamentals. Together, these 4 create unstoppable leadership. Love says, hey, I care about your success. Peace says, you know what? I'm confident I will get there. Knowledge says, man, I can show you how. But trust says, keep executing and it will work, right? Let me give you a real example, right? Let me give you a real example. When I was mentoring young soldiers, well, you know what? No, let's talk about when I was transitioning out. When I was transitioning out, had a lot of other soldiers who were transitioning out who were coming to me asking questions before going to the next level, before leaving the military, right? And I taught them and I gave them ideas and how to continue in their career path, right? And I did it from a place of love. And I didn't ask for any money, right? Because I genuinely care whether people succeed. I invested time in mentoring because I want them to win. I led from a place of peace. They had anxiety. And I wanted to show them that staying calm and not panicking while looking for jobs will help you think clearly, right? And those are just some examples, man. Those are just some examples. Now, the fired up train is fueled by 4 elements, right? Focus, intensity, resilience, and excellence, right? You focus on what matters because you love it. You bring fierce energy. You bounce back because you trust. You discover and deliver at high levels, right? That's the process. Now, when you lead in teams, man, the teams have to trust you. They have to believe in you. They have to know that you have the knowledge and the capabilities to get them to the win, right? They have to believe in you. Because if they don't believe in you, without that trust, how can they trust your process, right? How? It's going to be damn near impossible, right? It's going to be damn near impossible. When you trusting the process, right? You have to make intelligent decisions, right? You have to make intelligent decisions. You have to execute, right? You have to be able to not just see the metrics. You have to be able to define the process of those metrics, right? And then when it's all said and done, you have to celebrate the process wins. You have to celebrate those wins, right? You have to celebrate, right? Because that's part of the win. That's part of the win, right? And winning, as they used to say when we were growing up in G.I. Joe, winning is half the battle. Winning is half the battle. Now, we've talked about love, peace, knowledge, and trust. And what would the Final Boss community be, or the Final Boss Nation, or even me being the Final Boss? What would I be if I didn't give you guys a call to action? And I have a call to action for you. On top of every night call of action that I give you, tonight is no different. And tonight, for the next 30 days. I know a lot of y'all looking at your calendar saying, he just gave us a 30-day call to action the other night. I did. I absolutely did. But look, here's another one. And you can start this one tomorrow. Start this one tomorrow. I want you to integrate those 4 elements: love, peace, knowledge, and trust, over the next 30 days. All right. When it comes to love, how did you serve someone? Right? How did you invest in someone? How did you celebrate somebody who was winning? And peace, how did you maintain calm in a difficult situation? How did you respond strategically instead of reactively? How did you stabilize chaos in your own presence, right? And not crash out. When it comes to knowledge, did you learn something new? Did you teach or share knowledge with somebody else? Did you apply expertise that created value, right? And lastly, trusting the process. Did you execute these disciplines even when you didn't feel like it? Did you maintain these systems even when the results weren't visible? Did you keep the faith and fundamentals throughout doubt? And then create a scorecard, right? Create a scorecard and send us the results. Let us know how you did, right? Next 30 days. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitch, Kick, what else? YouTube and Spotify. Hit us up, man. Hit us up with your results, right? Maybe there's a prize out there for the winner, right? Maybe you'll get a free go time. All aboard the Fired Up train. Motivation manuscript. Workbook, right? Maybe you'll get that, right? Let me throw that out there. We're going to see what the results look like. And in closing, because we're at the end of episode 159, and I want to leave you with this very, very important truth, right? Here's a very important truth. All the tactics in the world won't matter if you don't lead from a place of love. You can't master every framework I've taught. You can. You absolutely can. You can execute every system perfectly. You absolutely can. You can dominate every metric. Absolutely. But if you lead from fear, selfishness, ignorance, and impatience, you'll win battles but lose wars. You'll achieve success but destroy relationships. You'll build wealth but create emptiness. You'll become powerful but not legendary. Because legends aren't just remembered for what they achieve. They're remembered for how they made people feel. And the leaders who make people feel valued, confident, empowered, hopeful, those leaders create movements, and those movements outlast them. Those leaders build legacies that transcend over a lifetime. Those leaders become final bosses who change the world. I'm challenging you. I'm challenging you as we head into 2026. Commit to this. Commit to I will lead through love. Commit to I will lead through peace. Commit through I will lead through knowledge. Commit that I will lead through trust. And say it with me. I will lead through love, peace, knowledge, and trust. Say it with me, people. Say it with me, right? Now, before you go to sleep tonight, identify one person you will serve with love tomorrow, right? And I ain't talking about hitting them cheeks. I'm not talking about that type of love. Hey, sometimes, man, you got to loosen it up the vibe. And, got to be hilarious and silly at the same time, right? But back to business. Tomorrow morning, establish your peace through 15 minutes of quiet before the chaos. And one day this week, teach one person one thing that empowers them. You have Christmas gatherings, right? Pull a family member to the side and teach them something that can empower them. And for the next 30 days, execute your processes with unwavering trust, right? Let's create a movement, man. Let's create a final boss movement of love, peace, knowledge, trust, right? LPKT, love, peace, knowledge, trust. And let's make it a challenge. Post your scorecards, right? Make sure you go out, you share this episode with at least 3 people who you think needs to hear this message. And if it resonates with you, make sure you let it marinate in your spine. Because guess what? The fired up train doesn't run on diesel. It doesn't run on electricity. The fired up train runs on love. Love for your mission, love for your team, love for your family, love for your purpose, love for your excellence, love for your legacy. And when the train is powered by love, stabilized by peace, gilded and guided by knowledge, and sustained by trust, nothing can stop it. Not obstacles, not doubt, not failure, not delay, nothing, because you're not just executing tactics, you're living purpose, and purpose-driven execution is unstoppable. I am the final boss, and this has been the Final Boss Podcast, and my execution and delivery is unstoppable. It's unstoppable, right? Unstoppable. To my smarts, lead with wisdom and peace. To my final bosses, build with love and knowledge. To my motivators, inspire through your own transformation. To my warriors, fight with heart and trust. Make sure 2026 is your year to lead and be legendary. all aboard the fired up train that's powered by love. I love you all. See you again tomorrow night for Tech Tuesday with this me, the sensei. Y'all have a great night. And remember, there's a heavy pain that comes with discipline, but the heavy pain of regret is even heavier. I am here. We are here. And this has been the Final Boss Podcast, Final Boss Community, Final Boss Nation. Good morning, good evening, or I should say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. That is our show. Be balanced, be equal, and be smart. Y'all have a good one. Go out there and trust that process. Have a good night.